What's going on, guys? Matt High back here with another video. Today I've got an alternative for the meta. If you guys are tired of the meta of spamming in Root Riders or spamming event troops, this is for you. This is a 10 Super Valkyrie attack, and it's actually really strong. I was messing around with it in some friendly challenges, and let me tell you, it was really surprising. I didn't expect it to be as good as it was, but it's really been good. For the Queen, I'm using Giant Arrow, but if you want to use the action figure, if you have it leveled up, that's probably better. Or even the Magic Mirror might even be better as well, but I don't have either of those high enough level. So that's why I'm using the Giant Arrow, but the Giant Arrow is nice to trigger invisibility towers. So that's up to you. I'm using the Healing Tome on the Warden. You could use Rage Gem as well because you do have healers, but that's also up to you. And then I'm using the Hog Puppet and Electro Boots on the Royal Champion. You definitely need Electro Boots. That's the most important part of the attack. But if you want to change out the Hog Puppet for a Rocket Spear or even a Haste File, you could use that as well. So let's go hop into the first attack and I'll show you guys how to use this. Alright, so you're going to want to start off by using your Royal Champion charge, and you want to keep your Fox alive, so you want to use the new popular Spirit Fox timing. You want to drop your invisibility spells every time your timer is on a 7 and a 3. So you want to drop your first one at 57, then at 53, then 47, then 43. And then you'll get your couple seconds out of your Spirit Fox for every cycle. So it actually extends your Spirit Walk quite a bit and keeps your Fox alive almost 100% of the time unless you make a mistake. So as you see here, that's what we're doing, and we're getting pretty good value here. We're going to set a nice funnel. We're going to take out the Monolith. We have one Invis left, so we'll have one more cycle. We do trigger the Tornado Trap, which is also nice. So we're really not going to get any more value here, so I don't want to be greedy, so I'm going to recall her out. Don't want to lose the Fox again, like I said. It's pretty important to keep the Fox up. As you see, the two army camps are up here. I'm also going to show some war bases after this, so don't worry if this isn't what you want to see. Use a Giant Arrow. It wasn't a very good Giant Arrow, but all I wanted to do there was set the funnel, and we used the Siege Barracks with an Ice Golem in front as well. I usually use one wall break on my Siege Barracks troops, and then I use the other two wall breaks to get the Super Valks into the base, which is working perfect. We have a massive funnel set up here. Then you're going to want to look for jump spell placement. As you see, that's a really nice jump spell because it basically opens up the back half of the base. Hit a Warden ability because we do have a Super Dragon there. We don't want it to melt our troops. And then you're going to want to get your King into the core, and you're going to open up the backside of the base with your Earthquake Boots and Spiky Ball. As you see, this is working perfectly. All our Super Valks in the core, all of our Siege Barracks troops on the outside. Our King walks up here. We hit his Spiky Ball and Earthquake Boots, and he opens up the entire backside of the base. TownHall is going down. We still have tons of Siege Barracks troops alive, tanking for our Queen still. We have our Royal Champion up there, takes out the enemy Minion Prince. As you see, we still have Super Valks alive, and if your Super Valks do die, it's actually not bad because they do drop that rage spell, which helps push your heroes through the backside of the base, and it also rages up your healers. So it's not bad. It's not the end of the world if you lose your Super Valkyries. There actually is meant to be a couple of them dying in the core. That's why we have so many of them. You do want a couple to die early. You want some to die in the core, and you want some to die late just for that rage effect. So that's why I bring so many. I have seen a couple other people use Super Valkyries, and they just use way less. I think it's better to use more, just to get more rage spells. As you see, they're dropping the rages. Speeds all of our troops up. And that base was crushed. All of our heroes were still alive. Our Apprentice Warden was still alive. We still had Super Valkyries up. An absolutely crushing attack. So this one was a normal base that has the army camps that you can get the friendly troops, the Giant, and the Kane. And then the defending troops are the Yeeter and the Disarmer. But I'm going to show war bases now that don't have those camps in case you guys want to use this for war. Alright, so under our first war base, we have double rage towers, which can do a lot of damage. This is a nasty core. So on bases like this, these boxy type bases, I like to send the Royal Champion in from a corner just to help set up pathing. If you go from a corner, you're almost always going to set up a funnel one way or the other. It just depends which way she goes. If she goes left, then we could go from this side. If she goes down this way, then we could go in from over on this side. Really doesn't matter. That's why I like going in from a corner on these boxy style bases, because all you're trying to do really with your Royal Champion, yes, you want to get value, but if you set up the pathing, that's really all you need. But if you can get both at the same time, that's definitely ideal. We got one cycle left. We should be able to pick up one Fire Spitter, which is nice because we're going to come in from the top side now. So having that Fire Spitter out is actually really helpful. We'll recall her out, make sure we keep our Fox healthy. So now we have a pretty good funnel set. Again, we can go from either side. We're going to shoot our Giant Arrow. We're going to wall break in our Siege Barrack troops on this corner to help set that funnel. Drop all our Super Valks up here with the rest of our troops. Try to drop everything in as quick as you possibly can. You want to get everything working because these Super Valks are pretty fast. As you see, we wall break into that next layer. Then we'll jump spell over this wall. And then the back wall is just going to be our King's Earthquake Boots and Spiky Ball. Hit the early Warden ability so we don't lose everything all at once. And then we're going to rage through this nasty rage tower compartment here. Look how quick this goes down. Everything gets shredded by the super valks. There goes our king's ability. Town Hall gets absolutely destroyed. And now our rage spells are starting to drop from our Valkyries. So our healers are raged up. Our heroes are raged up. We're just going to push through the backside of this base. Unfortunately, our queen's over here stuck on a wall as usual. That's what the king's known for. Or the queen, rather, not the king. And we got a wizard up here doing some cleanup. Some of our valks out of our siege barracks also went to help. If you don't want to use valks in your siege barracks, you could use super minions as well. That also works. You just need something quick because these burn through the base so fast. But you see, we have tons of super valks still alive. We have healers still up. Our RC's still up. Warden's still up. Queen's still up. The only thing we lost was the king. But our siege barracks Valkyries are putting in work up here, clearing all the trash. This base, again, was absolutely crushed. All of our heroes should survive. We got a healer transfer over to the... Oh, yeah, we still had our RC ability. It wasn't even close. We really could have swagged that ability if we wanted to because the healers did transfer over. And look, another crushing 3-star. And that's without the OP army camps, too, where you can get the friendly Giant and Kane. So this is a war base, and it's still shredded that easily. So I got 2 more attacks, and they're both going to be more war bases just to show you that you don't have to rely on the Kane and the Giant. All right, on to another base. This base has actually been really tough for me to conquer. But as you see, there's tons of value down here in the bottom. And it is pretty symmetrical. So if we go in from the middle, we can either go left or right. Just depends on which way it breaks. But we're going to get the monolith out, and we're hopefully going to get the Inferno and both fire spitters. That would be insane value out of this RC charge. If you see value like this, you can't pass it up. You can always try to think on the fly and help set up your funneling later. But this is kind of the best of both worlds. We're probably only going to get 1 fire spitter because she does path left. But that's all right. We'll just get as much value as we possibly can before we recall her out. Should be able to get the Expo. We might be able to get that ricochet cannon, but yeah, it's not looking likely. We're not going to get it. And like I said, don't be greedy and let your fox die. So we just pull her out because we knew we weren't going to get it. So now you can go either from the left or the right, but I'm going to go from the right just so we come in behind that fire spitter and don't have to deal with its damage at the end of the attack. We want to go through it quick, make sure we get it out of there. We do drop a headhunter down to take out the enemy queen. We wall broke our troops in there because we want that compartment to go down and try to push our super Valkyries through the core here and then into the town hall compartment. So we wall break in. It's going really well so far. Unfortunately, we do get stalled up over there a little bit, and the super dragon does draw, and we didn't get that whole compartment down. I wanted my siege barracks troops to get that compartment down so I could path better into the core. So we're a little split up here, unfortunately, and we lose all of our super Valkyries basically to that super dragon. So it was a bit of an unlucky split there. I should have given the siege barracks a little more time to start working to set that funnel a little bit deeper. That way we could have got our super Valkyries to path to the core. But even with that mistake, we have our king all the way into the middle here. He still has his ability. We still have quite a few of these super Valks, obviously, but we did lose like 3 or 4 of them at once to that super dragon, and they really didn't get any value, which is frustrating because they kind of died off on their own, so we didn't get any value out of the rage effect. But you see here, we're still tearing through the backside of the base. The queen's still full health. King's still full health with his ability intact. We still have super Valks alive. All of our healers are still up, which is really nice. Oh, one other thing I forgot to mention. I'm using the Diggy on the Warden, which is really good. But if you have Sneezy, you can use that as well to help protect your healers. As you see, we're losing healers to the Dark Air Mines, but it really doesn't matter. This base is still crushed. Queen's full health. King's basically going to be full health at the end. We still have some super Valkyries left. We have 1 Valkyrie left out of our siege barracks. We're just going to 2 times through this because at this point, it's just clean up on trash buildings. We didn't have as much survive that time. But like I said, if your super Valks go down, it's still getting value because they're raging your healers and your heroes. But as you see, we had a pretty bad split there at the beginning. So we lost a whole bunch of them at once and they just didn't get any value. So that's why I was a little bit closer. But I have 1 more attack and I'll catch you guys there. Right on to the final attack, we have a Rage and Invisibility Tower. So we're going to go in from over here on this corner, try to take out that mortar, try to take out the Ricochet Cannon, and then just kind of see which way she goes. It really doesn't matter which way she goes either way. Either way, it'll set up pathing. We'll just have to change which direction we come in from with our main push. So we're trying to keep the Spirit Fox alive here. She might go back up to the Expo now, but then she should still path down, maybe. No, she might actually go to that air defense now. Can't remember what happens here. Yeah, I could tell she was going to go to the air defense, and unfortunately, I hesitated. The Town Hall shot, and it killed our Fox. That's why you can't be greedy, and you got to be really, really decisive. Because if you're in range of that Town Hall, look how quick it shoots if you have a gap in your invisibility spells. So yeah, that's really unfortunate. That's worst case scenario. We lose the Fox. And we keep letting the Town Hall shoot every time. I'm not sure what I was doing. And I shouldn't have, yeah, I should have recalled. And I got greedy, and look what happened. My ability got forced. But we did set a really nice funnel, so we should still be fine. I wanted to show this one just to show you why I was explaining the way I did. To not be greedy and try to keep your fox alive. This time we actually ran the action figure on the queen. But it's only level 9. So look how quick that giant dies. It's pretty useless if it's under leveled. So that's why I ended up switching to the giant arrow after this one. But we spammed everything else in. This was my first attempt with this army. So that's why this one is very sloppy. And I learned all the tips and tricks basically from this one. And then used them in the other ones. So we hit a nice warden ability. We're going to rage through the core here. Unfortunately, we did not have the giant arrow. So that invisibility tower is going to wreck us. See, that's why I like the giant arrow. Because that invis tower would have already been triggered. We wouldn't have had to worry about it. The core would have already been down. But still, look at this. We hit our king's ability. The king ability paired with those super valks just absolutely shreds that. But this would have been completely overkilled if I would have had the giant arrow on the queen. Also, if I wasn't an idiot and lost my fox and made my royal champion ability get forced before I recalled her out. Very, very sloppy attack. But nonetheless, it's still going to tear through the base. So we're going to 2 times through this. We still have a couple Siege Barracks troops cleaning trash on the outsider. Queen's still full health. King's still healthy. We have a couple Super Valks left. Oh, we actually have quite a few Super Valks left. Wow. I thought we only had a couple left, but there's probably 5 or 6 still alive in there. They're going to shred through the backside of this base like it's nothing. We'll just 4x through this now. Queen reaches over the wall, gets the multi-archer tower, and that's another 3-star. So as you see, even if you make mistakes, it's a really strong attack. So if you can execute this to perfection, you will melt through bases. I might even take this into Legend League tonight. So let me know in the comments if you guys want me to use this in Legend League, because I'm definitely thinking about it. Drop a like if you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you guys next time.